welcome to the Team 7 podcast. It is April 23rd. Do you know where your kids are? The war has begun. Let's begin. That's an old kickback. Do you know where your kids are?
That's some 90s propaganda, right?
Even like late or earlier than that, I think.
Dang. The answer is no.
Evidently, it was like parents would just forget. Like they would just forget to like look for their kid. They were like care where their kid was. And so the literal news had to be like, hey, do you know where they're at? And then most parents would be like, I haven't thought about that in days. Where are they? Well, anyways, Naruto. The war has begun. This batch was 261 through 270. Let's get into it. So first thing, everybody's kind of coming back to life.
God, the
Is
worst.
it what we expected? Is it what you guys wanted? I told you guys, I wasn't telling you, hey, let it happen so that you would like it. Just, hey, let it happen before you make your judgment.
I will say this, and I know that's my catchphrase, but
I don't feel like that. I've not.
That's one of them.
You would definitely get. Don't say that, or you would get sealed. You would get sealed.
Yes. So last week I was pretty hesitant about the inconvenience of just bringing everybody back. Like that's such a cop out. Was my mentality. It's shifted a little bit. I still think it's kind of silly, but it is cool to get more knowledge of the past in the present. And so the context of the Gold and Silver Brothers, the context of Kakuzu, the context of Zabuza, and kind of getting different understandings of people that we've known. And I know Kakuzu is coming, but like, you know what I'm saying? It's still silly to me, but I get it. Is kind of where I've landed from this first batch of the war.
Yeah.
Dude, okay. Kakuzu ripped somebody's heart out.
Yeah.
That was insane.
Yeah.
The two brothers, though, get out of here. I hated them.
Genkaku and Kinkaku. I absolutely cannot stand them. I think they are two of the worst characters in the entire series. I just think they're annoying. I hate their character design too. Yeah.
That was the main thing that bugged me. I was like, this is so, like, I don't know, 90s wrestler. It reminded me of like Gold Dust or somebody, but with a big.
But see, that's why it made sense though, because you have Killer B and the Lord Raikage. Like, that's WWE Raw over there, dog. Like, there's no other way to say it. Like, they're tapping in and tapping out over there all the time.
Yeah, that overall still feels out of place to me, I guess.
Sure.
The Zabuza stuff, though, like, I was here for it, and it also sucked because it was like they didn't want to be here.
Yeah.
I mean, none of them really do, but them especially was like,
well,
oh my God, Kakashi, please kill us.
Yeah, they were an unexpected, like from Kabuto's stance, like an unexpected turn. Like the same way that Sasori and Shin were. And I mean, he like half-heartedly explains, and he's like trying to figure that balance between like control and like letting them go. But they basically apologized for being brought back against their will, and then was like, please end it again. And Kakashi obliged.
True.
Yeah. I think that's part of it that made me not hate it as much as I thought I would, is because the people that were affected by the good guys, throwing up air quotes here, they all seem to be like, it not like there are good guys and bad guys that have been resurrected or reanimated, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
A portion of the bad guys are apologetic and they don't want to be there. They're upset that they were summoned. They're mad. All the way up to the salamander guy. What's his name?
That is Hanzo.
Hanzo. Even he's like, I don't want to be controlled, you know?
Yeah.
And he was one of the catalyst for all of the Akatsuki in the first place, you know? And so he's like, I don't want to be in control of somebody. So I'm interested to see where that develops. But like the people that like was it Neji's father or was it Hinata's father?
That's Neji's father.
Neji's father. Like even that closure and like understanding, like he can move on in the same way that Kakashi's father can, is kind of where I'm placing that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Closure is why I'm using that word. But the worst part of the resurrection by far, and I hope you guys agree with me, is Datara's
Yeah.
Dude, I can't dude. I forgot how much I hated that.
So it's trash.
So yes, when we started Shippuden, and he is obviously him and Sasori are the first ones we meet, and then Datara is just annoyingly around for like not most of the series, but like I mean
a lot.
He was a lot. Like I mean, he was that first big chunk, and then we see him again for like a little bit with Sasuke. He dies. Well, okay. In that first little bit, we think he dies first. Like Kakashi gets him, and then we immediately find out, nope, he's alive. And then he actually gets killed by Sasuke just to come back, just to be the exact same person, unapologetically confident in like one of the most annoying like cop out jutsus of the series, in my opinion. Like it's always something new where he's like, and now I have larva that I've placed behind your eyeballs. And then it's like, dude, get out of here. I'm so happy that they immediately bottled him up, but shut up and just like seal him. Why is he not being sealed?
Right.
Sealed as in like the singer, like the verb of the singer seal.
Lance is gonna love this. Our friend Lance, who
he
loves Seal and
he doesn't
Naruto.
watch this. Don't say anything to him. I really am so serious. I really wonder.
We'll see. We'll use this as a test.
Text us. Yeah, maybe in a couple of years. So a couple other thoughts that I had from the early episodes before we get further into it. So in 261, that's our first episode back, we see Gaara is still about to address the masses, and everybody is talking. So we hear like this just general murmur, but what we're seeing are up close shots of people talking, which in like a live act, this is the break. So in live action, we hear a general murmur and we can like see people moving their mouth like this. And it's like, oh, okay, they're talking, but it looks like they're talking. They just look like they're flapping their mouth, dude. They look like guppy fish out there. Exactly, Zach. I can't stand it. It looks so awkward. And then Anko, I wonder, I don't know if her voice actor changed in the dub. It
Anko.
feels, you don't know Anko? Are you serious?
No, he's sad.
Oh, my heart hurts.
Oh, I thought, I see. Yeah,
dude, she's brutally depicted in these episodes.
It's kind of worse in the manga. She's just so like strung and like she just looks, she's more beaten. So
yeah.
Yeah, and then another like dumb thought that I had. So if you go to, and I maybe we should add this in the post, but episode 265, 18 minutes and 21 seconds is everybody about to, like, the mist has just laid down over the battlefield and everybody's in their formation. I can't remember the formation that Kakashi called out. But,
Manji.
Yeah, so they're in Manji formation. Dude, Lee in this drawing looks, yes, Zach knows exactly what I'm talking about immediately. Dude, he looks terrible.
Do not worry, Sakura. I will save you.
Who's clearing this? Who saw that frame and was like, not only should we use it, let's pan down from top right to bottom left.
Stay on
Slow.
it.
Let's stay on it. Stay there. Let it marinate. Who's approving that? I have no clue. But
Here, I got it pulled up. We can show the viewers.
there we go.
Yeah, do it.
We'll see it. There it is. That's the one.
Some weird Where's Waldo?
Yeah. Well,
Lee
like
is
look at
absolutely
like
who we're supposed to find.
Sai isn't like that great either. But this isn't far enough out, in my opinion, to warrant this low of detail. Like, look at that.
You know what it looks like?
I submitted that to my sixth grade art teacher and said, I drew my favorite character from Naruto. Like, that's how that looks.
I mean, Guy's not really any better.
Terrible. What were you going to say? What does it look like,
Dude,
Zach?
Guy looks like, what's his name from No Country for Old Men right there?
Yeah.
Anton Chigurh.
He kind of looks like the old Ronald McDonald cartoon face.
What's happening with his nose? Is that his nose?
That is his nose, yeah. But what's
Wild.
crazier is this thing right here in the middle of his forehead that's coming down. Yeah, like
oh,
what
is that the boy who lived?
Yeah. And then like he has his eyebrows are, I guess, covered by his hair there, but yeah.
It's all tough.
I hate to critique one frame, but it was so bad for so many seconds. Like what's going on her cheek? Like why did they draw that?
Who are we looking at right here?
Generic Ninja 4? Like
oh.
Yeah. It was tough.
Yeah. It was. So I guess down in the rave room where White Zetsu is marching was like underwater. I was kind of getting confused by that. Like they were underwater and part of them came out of the sea and then part of them came out of the ground, but there was like water noise. Like I don't know. It was weird. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I feel like
geography is confusing.
I feel like it was more of like the only thing I can think of right now is like when Mewtwo is formed, he's in like a holding chamber.
It's
but there's
like a baby
liquid
inside their embryonic or whatever. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, like a womb. Yeah. That's kind of what I equated it to and why there was, like a murky feel to it.
Yeah.
But it makes sense that way if there's water because they could move underground faster because there's an element to help move the dirt.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I've got a note here that says worm Naruto equals best Naruto, and I can't remember for the life of me what worm Naruto is.
Worm Naruto?
Where
worm Naruto, dude.
Where in the...
Do you know what episode?
Oh, yes. And then my literal next note is Naruto and Gaara OG reference above. And now I love my past self right now because that comment reminded me of what I was talking about. It's whenever Naruto is like worming towards Gaara in worm Naruto. Dude.
That's hilarious.
And so that brings us back around to Gaara.
Those were good flashbacks.
Yeah.
Now there is only Shinobi.
Pretty dope.
I will say the
Great quote.
Opening scene with Gaara leading the charge for the war back to the Guppies. That opening scene, because the last thing we left off with was that didn't feel like 80,000 people, right?
Yeah.
It was kind of the consensus that, like, we were kind of debating it, but in the grand scheme of it, it really didn't. But when they came back in this episode, after the filler that we skipped, the camera was shaky because it was so intense of like a mass of people that are like riled up.
Yeah.
And so that did help me feel like there's a lot more people here, but still the scale of that 80,000 number.
I still
It's
think it looks
tough.
like more than 80,000. It looks like so much to me. But my spatial
Yeah.
reasoning isn't great. I recognize that. I scored low on that in the school test.
The school test
I don't
is
know.
the funniest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, Asher had texted me and Lance, as he often does, and leave Zach out of it because Zach doesn't. Asher will watch as soon as he can, and Zach will wait until he needs to watch so it's fresh on his mind. And I respect both, and I've done both. I'm somewhere in the middle now where I have to do like this, like 3 episodes a day or whatever bullshit.
Yeah.
But so Asher texted me and Lance and says, "Is Gaara's talk no jutsu better than Naruto's?" Or you definitively said it. I think you said it.
I think
is.
I said yeah.
And I wanted to pose
stronger.
the question: is it? And I just came back with a maybe it's his rank. And I said it more definitive in the text as well. But Zach,
Sure.
where are you at on that? And Asher, have you given any more thought to it?
No, it's Gaara.
No,
OG.
you're totally wrong there. And the reason why is Gaara's speech was short, but it was with a purpose. Like Naruto stopped Nagato from the biggest atrocity to the ninja world.
It's a good.
Gaara has 80,000
Yeah, that's a good
people in
point.
front of him that are like ready
On
to
his
fight.
side. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, but they were ready to fight each other.
He
That's
literally
what he did.
said,
he didn't
yeah,
unite
but
them.
sure, but like he did, but like they knew they were there for a reason. And then it was like, oh yeah, whatever. Like we need to put this beside us. And I'm psyching myself up anyways because there's a war about to happen and I'm either going to be a little, baby about this or I'm going to be a warrior, which I'm trained to be. So I can't totally give it to Gaara. I'm not saying it was lame. I think it was awesome. But to say that it's better than Naruto's Talk No Jutsu? Nah. You out of your mind, bro.
I think it's better because he went from the Kage all the way down. That's what I'm saying. It's such a wide, like, swath of people. Is that a word? Is that the right word? But like the highest ranking, like,
No, I get it though.
rulers
And
of these lands, you know?
I can agree with that too. Not that it's necessarily better, but like I see the merit in that because especially in like Japanese culture to like be in such a position of leadership or even like American culture. Think of like how just weird it would feel for like a general to be like very humble and be like, I need your help or whatever. And it would just feel like what general is being like, I need your help and whatever. Like that's not exactly the way they would put it. But anyways,
Sure.
you know what I mean. Yeah,
I just think
don't know.
Naruto on
feels
the
like
other
a
hand is
humble.
like, Sasuke, I love you.
But that's had nothing to do with Nagato.
Nothing.
I know,
to
that's
do
true.
with Nagato.
And his talk no jutsu on Sasuke does not work. Sasuke does not care.
No.
Well, I will say this because I watched in both dub and sub, and I would say that the speech is worth watching in sub. It's worth going back and like watching just that part because it's just so well given. And now that I've even like talked about the humble aspect of it, I think that the sub has a bit more of that like direct translation like feel to it that gives like more of a like, here I am asking for your help, even though it's like very hard for me to do so.
Sure.
And the dub is still phenomenal. It's just, I don't know, the delivery just feels more like war speech. But like the English still feels like Gaara being like, when did you forsake yourselves? And it's like, yeah, I mean, that's Gaara and that's cool, but it just sounds more like fierce when it's his Japanese voice actor for some reason. So check it out. And here's a great example of this. So of the like difference. So Gaara in the dub says, "Face me after this war is over." Whenever he's finishing, like, if you still hate me after this war is over, face me whenever. And like that implies like I'll like come talk to me. Like we'll either figure it out together or like come talk to me and like I'll deal with you. I'll beat you myself. Is how I take that either way.
Yeah,
but in the sub. It says you can have my head after the war. Like if you still feel this way after the war, you can have my head for it, which feels much more like I'm putting all on the line. For this,
basically, like
friend.
I've let you down if you don't.
Like if I
come around to
so
it.
fully believe in this that I'll die for it if I'm wrong. So yeah, worth it. Yeah, those options or those like differences are like few and far between, in my opinion, and they're so negligible. Like you still get the feel. Like both of you guys watching the dub this week still very much got the exact same feel. It's just like little nuances like that I think we probably still wouldn't fully understand until we knew both languages anyways.
For sure.
Yeah. So at the end of 261 now, where are they running? Like we see all of them running and there's no enemy. They've not even spotted the enemy at this point. So I get that they're probably running to their stations, but it just looks like they're just like, hey, run, go. It just looks goofy.
Yeah, I feel like there was some things left out just because of a bore factor. Like if you got the Shikaku game plan before, it might not have landed as well as in the middle of the fight. Like,
I agree with that. Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of left to the understanding that they already had those talks and they're just going and they know, they're planned and prepared. But yeah, I do think it's cool though that we didn't know what they were doing, but like they definitely split off. And it was just kind of like it's like everyone's supposed to turn. Yeah.
The logistics of that is kind of crazy. I would just like have to find people that I know were in my platoon and just run where they're going. Because there's no way that you're like 400 people back and you're still at the front of the pack, really. And you definitely can't see your commander.
And poor Choji, man. I mean,
I was just getting the ball,
I'd be like, just dude,
get in the ball and roll. Like that's literally like his only option. So this batch came out like around the time that I was graduating high school. So about this time, 12 years ago is when this batch was coming out. And reading the Crunchyroll comments for each episode is so funny, but the theories that people come up with or what they expect to happen is just worth the read. And I think without a Crunchyroll login, you can still like browse their stuff. I don't know if you can like click into an episode like that and see the comments or not, but they're worth looking through just because, like somebody was like, I can't wait to see like Naruto fight with his new powers. And then somebody else commented and was like, B's gonna turn on Naruto, I just know it, or something like that. And it's like, I'll tell you right now, B's not gonna do that. Like B is like one of the best characters. But it's just
I never even got that vibe
to see. No, but like I guess at the time, like you just like, I don't know, like you just are suspicious because everything feels like you can't trust it in Naruto. Yeah, but so let's talk about Sai's older brother. We really didn't get like a ton of context or more like story development, but it is the first time we've seen him from what I remember. I mean, we saw like the picture drawing, but I don't think we've ever seen him.
No, and that's kind of what I'm talking about with like the context of the people of the past and the present and like understanding now a different side of Sai and why he's emotionless. That's what I was kind of trying to get into. Like these moments make the understanding of the reanimation worth it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's still silly. But sorry, keep going.
No, that was it. I just
Sheen.
wanted to bring up. Yeah, Sheen, he just like that whole story is it's interesting, and obviously we know the outcome because we know Sai's still alive now. But if I don't know, a few of these stories, and I don't know if I'm right or wrong about this, they feel like they were written after, if that makes sense. It feels like the Sai stuff was written, and then story progresses. We get here, and then Kishimoto was like, you know who would be really cool to come back and like explain a little bit is Sheen.
Oh, and it's a
then,
little retconned.
And then writing
little.
that. That's how it feels to me. And I don't know why. And I've never heard that term before, but it feels almost like plugged in, like to fit instead of like, there's some things like if you go back and watch from the beginning now, because you guys are privy to the attack with Madara and Minato and how that all unfolds, all of that. If you go back to the beginning and watch, like you can tell that Kishimoto had that like scenario or scene or whatever still in mind, like that, maybe not the specifics, but like knowing that, hey, well, I'm going to show you at the beginning what's happening where we don't see it, like Minato's fighting someone and like all of that, very thought out. And I think that feels evident, and I could be wrong. It just feels a little like shallow, maybe
like a little shoehorned in or something.
Yeah, I don't know. And I wonder if you guys have the same feeling about that or not.
I did last time, the last episode we recorded, but I don't now because of those details. Like understanding why Sai is emotionless because Sheen said you need to kill your emotions. Like that's the context for where Sai entered the team.
Yeah. I get that. That's a good point.
There's a sacrifice made by his brother, the one he loves the most, the one who he drew this entire book with. We've gotten context for why he got the book in the first place, for the reason for the drawings, the reason he doesn't show anybody because he wasn't even able to show him. And now he's told in his dying breath and his wish, you need to kill your emotions and be strong because I'm doing this for you. Yeah. Like,
no, I'm
how do you add that pre this moment? I can't think of a scenario.
No, I think that I agree with what you're saying. I think that the like validity of the story is there.
Sure.
But to me, I would argue, like, why wouldn't you tell us that? Why wouldn't you tell us that whenever we were getting all of Sai's information back in the second arc of Shippuden, the Tenchi reconnaissance bridge? Like we were just learning about Sai all that time. We were introduced to his brother, and then it kind of felt resolved at that point. I think that's my problem with it. Is it feels like we know Sai, we understand Sai, and getting greater like knowledge into that is always welcomed. But it just feels like what we were told could have been told up here, and since it wasn't, it feels like it was written back here. If that makes sense.
Let me interject and say he's not fully developed. In the battle with Kakashi, he was like, I'm not ready. I can't do this. And he was like, Sai, you're out of the foundation now. Like, you can leave that behind. And it's like, with the context of Sheen, now he's ready to. Because he's faced him again and got that closure. And like, he's able to swallow that.
Right. And it is more character development. Like he is still developing. And I said, like I welcome that. I want that. It's good. I just think that it wasn't written until then. Like I think that it was, I don't think that Kishimoto knew that story or had come up with that story when he was telling us, or maybe not all of the details, but when he was telling us about Sai and the Tenchi reconnaissance bridge. And I could be so wrong. It just feels like the information that we get, like, why did we wait until now? Besides the fact of it just wasn't written, But I mean, I don't know. Like, this is so in the weeds and absolutely doesn't matter. But it just, my point is, my whole point of it is like, I just wish I like felt stronger about it. Like, I wish I cared more about it.
Gotcha.
I watched that episode where they're in the past, basically the entire time with Sai and Shin and Donzo. And you get a ton of cool stuff with like how Donzo has them in a house with just them two. Like, I didn't know that. The foundation would make you think that it was like a bunch of kids in like the same uniform in underground classrooms, basically, like something like Stranger Things or something esque. But the reality of that is different, and that's interesting to me, and I like it. But for whatever reason, at the end of it, I don't feel anything whenever Shin gets sealed away. The way that like I felt more with Sasori being like I'm still regretting the way that I lived, and then just like wills himself to let his soul free, basically. I feel more from that than I do from Sai and Shin.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's just with all the callbacks that we've seen in the history of the show so far, to me, it doesn't feel the way you're describing it, in the sense of it being an afterthought.
Yeah.
Because we knew Orochimaru was able to do this
Mm-hmm.
because he learned it from the second Hokage.
Yeah.
And he probably knew that Kabuto was going to take on that because Sasuke had to do his part and get rid of him so that he's able to go and do his missions. So this is coming back, and he's probably thinking, well, I can tell the story of this, this, and this during this war that's coming up, because a lot of reunions are about to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you think maybe he did know it and he saved it intentionally?
Yeah, which is point being, like, we haven't seen it yet, but I guarantee you we're gonna get a lot of backstory with Gaara's father too, and some closure there as well. If not, that's gonna be disappointing now. But like, it wouldn't make as much sense or hit as hard back when he was telling his story of his father at first. But now that he's leader of it all, look what I've done, Dad. You didn't stop me. I just feel like there's again, it's silly that everybody's back and they're having to fight them again. But to me, it doesn't feel like an afterthought, is what I'm trying to boil it down to.
Gotcha.
From my viewing experience.
That makes
in the
me
same
happy.
way
I like
that somebody saw Killer Bee as a betrayer. Like, people just see things differently. So
yeah, or they'll hear like one line or at the time, because at the on Crunchyroll it's only in subs, so they're reading subs. So like you can put a lot of like you can project a lot of inflection into how they're saying it if you don't really like listen to the way that they're putting inflection on it like naturally. And even then, like, because you don't know what they're saying, like it's kind of tough to know what that inflection really is, unless it's really obvious, like sarcastic tone or something like that. So I mean, I think that I get why somebody could like jump to that. It still feels ridiculous to me, but I mean, everybody has crazy theories as you go along. Y'all have had crazy theories as we've gone along. It's impossible to predict.
True. Yeah.
I mean, Lance and I both. I mean, I can't remember any off the top of my head, but I remember getting one of the games that had come out. I think it was Ultimate Ninja Storm, like Revolution or something like that. I can't remember, but it was one that brought back like a bunch of people. And it was about this time in the story where we like had seen a lot, but the story wasn't over yet. So you had like this vast array of characters for like the first time. It was from like OG and also Shippuden. And we just had all these theories about like, what characters would do. I was convinced that Iruka would be like more like a stronger character than he is. And he just wasn't. But yeah, you come up with crazy stuff whenever you're not sure what's coming. Here's more point to Sai and Shin. I said, let's be real though, the drawing isn't even that good, and I'm talking about the final one. like it's
what
really
if
not
Kakashi
that
had said
great.
that? Like, or just like, ooh,
Hey,
and then back to the
you
fight.
spent
That's
a
the one-
long
this is-
time on this, bro.
Yeah. Like, this is the one y'all are talking about. This is it.
So it reminds me of the Chalk Zone show. Did you ever watch that growing up? Rudy's got the chalk.
Dude,
It's just
No.
like doodles.
yes, I forgot about Chalk Zone. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
I've never heard of this. I'll Google it later.
Yeah, do it. That's crazy. So moving on from then, we leave the battlefield and we go back to B and Naruto,
Mhm.
and they're back in that like ethereal place. It looks like, I don't know. And Naruto tries to transform into the Nine Tails. That transformation where he's like basically a fox, but it's still very like Naruto-esque. That I can't believe that's not been a plush. That has to be a plush somewhere. Like that looks like it would sell so much to me, and it looks like something Zach would buy. It looks like something that belongs
Absolutely.
right over your right shoulder. I don't know what I'm looking at. It looks like, yes, that, bro.
Forgot about that. That's so odd.
Okay, so I'm gonna give this shout out to, no, not really a shout out, but I'm gonna bring up something that isn't us. So this guy, he is like 3D printing all of the 151 Pokemon, like the original. And
The giant ones?
No, aren't those are
Like
sweet.
figurines.
Yeah, they're like they're like, you know, like maybe the biggest one's like that big, maybe like
that's cool.
like 4 or 5 inches. So he got to Nine Tails and did Kurama instead of Nine Tails. I'm so sorry. I told you the Nine Tails name. You're gonna figure that out in a couple episodes, anyways. But
I didn't even
I
hear
thought we
it,
already
so I'm
knew
not
that.
gonna.
Did you? Okay,
I'm not gonna remember it.
Okay,
so,
great. Well,
no, don't
Nine
say
Tails.
it again. But I thought
I'm not going to.
I thought in a really early episode it was said.
Like it was said,
but
I don't know. Maybe Jet Kirby knows the answer for us. But
yeah.
What I even? Oh, so I was gonna try to find that to tell you the profile, but I'll just send it to you guys later. But he 3D printed one, and it looks so freaking cool, dude. Like the tails going everywhere, and now I want one to put it like.
Dang, I kind of want
right here.
I kind of want that too.
Yeah, but all of the like really cool figures, like these, I got from like, you know, those like little mystery packs or whatever, and it's like. You buy like a Naruto Shippuden, and it like has like 6 different characters it can be. You open it up and you don't know. I've got Itachi, then Kakashi, then Sasuke, and then that's Tanjiro from Demon Slayer. But those are like nothing. Like they're like basically worth pennies, I'm sure. But all of the nice ones that I want are like $150 or something crazy, dude.
Remember when I got scammed with the Attack on Titan wall?
How much did you pay for that again?
It was just like $50, but it was supposed to be like 600. I should have known.
Yeah,
It's too good to be
but
true.
if it did come, though, that's the thing. Like, if it did, it was going to be amazing. I was so hoping it would.
Sure.
And like, for you guys who are watching, there's no way to really like fully describe this, but if you've watched Attack on Titan, it's Eren in Titan form. Like, was he carrying the boulder in that one? Or was he breaking a wall or something like that?
Yeah, he was breaking through the city wall.
Yeah, that's what it was.
It was big too, wasn't it?
It was huge. Yeah. That's what I was going to say. It was like
24 inches tall.
Yes,
yeah.
and very big base,
and
like it
plugged
was
in
not
and
small.
had lights and everything.
Yes, dude, like 24 inches. Like that's like probably. I mean, you can't
it's
see my bottom
as
hand, but like
Mew.
that's big, dude.
It's as tall as that Mew. Like,
I've got to pull up your wide. Yes, that Mio is massive. Oh my god! I just realized we have the exact same shelves, like the exact same shelves.
heck yeah. That's
sick.
That's how you know they're great.
That's right. Or just,
Asher, what the heck, man?
Yeah, Asher.
I got stuff hanging back there.
You could have stuff sitting back there.
You would never see it. It's so far away.
So
that guitar looks tiny.
Mine.
That's a big guitar with 4 strings, by the way. I call that big guitar.
Nah,
The
that's one of
strings are
them
big,
kids.
too.
That's one of them kids' guitars.
So the Rasengan is essentially just the human version of a tailed beast bomb.
So cool.
Really cool. I like it a lot.
I like it.
But maybe I'm dumb. Totally fine with that. If the ratio is red to blue is 2-8, why is that not 1/4 or like 1-4? And like I'm genuinely asking, am I dumb, or could it be reduced to 1-4?
Hey, it sounds to me like you did real good on school test, buddy.
Yeah, I'm not a math guy.
Reasoning.
I'm not a math guy by any means.
Just fractions.
But second grade fractions and like even numbers, I'm pretty good with.
Yeah, dude, that's my point. Is like 2/8, like that's easy to be 1/4. Like, why are we? Wow, I don't get that.
Yeah,
dude, that plays into the B turning on Naruto theory, because he was intentionally making that like extra hard for Naruto's tiny brain.
my only maybe discrepancy there is like maybe it's like more common to round to the nearest 10th with ratios, but I don't know. Like,
so I have one theory that I don't know because I don't know Japanese, but I was reading about B, and so in Japanese they will take words from English, and it'll just be like close to that. So like killer is one, so it turns into Kira, and so which is why the Death Note light goes by the name Kira, like killer. And so B's name is Kira B in the sub, like it's not Killer B, it's Kira B. And B also sorry. So B can also be said as Hachi, and Hachi is also 8, and 8 is also the number for the octopus that B has. And so because B always rhymes, he may have used 8 Hachi to rhyme with Hachi for B, referring to himself. So I don't know, but that's my like closest guess, is that he changed the ratio. So that's my like only guess without like listening to the lines and trying to figure out what he's saying.
Right.
But in that reading about B, Kishimoto based him on the Wu-Tang Clan. He was inspired by the Wu-Tang Clan, and then he was also inspired by professional wrestling. So amazing. His moves are professional wrestling based, and that's why they have like the double lariat and stuff like that, because one of Kishimoto's assistants or editors actually was really big into professional wrestling whenever he was writing this part. And so he came up with B and was like, I want him to be one of the strongest characters in the entire show and also be ridiculous about it. And that's what he did.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And I didn't know any of that. I just was reading the like Naruto Wikipedia. Stay off there until we're done, but there's so much you can learn. In this whole series, I've learned so much just by like looking there. Jet Kirby might be the author of that stuff, but like whoever's writing that stuff, like, dude, how do you know that? Like, how do you know all this?
What if he is secretly? That's who is behind
wild.
Naruto Wikipedia. That's amazing.
That would be wild. What were you going to say, Z? I cut you off.
No, just that we were talking. It's funny because we were talking about that at the beginning with Ginkaku and Kinkaku and
Yeah.
like the wrestling theme. So I love that that's actually what it was based off of. It makes sense.
Yeah. And I'll try to find other stuff like that, because what led me there was looking for his I wrote it down. Hang on one second. It's Bakareru Konareru, something like that.
Speaking in tongues over there.
No, that's his fool, you fool in Japanese. Okay, I can't find it, but I know I wrote it down in one of these notes. But that
Fools,
where
you
he
fools.
fool, you fool, like it's like some sort of like rhyme that like doesn't entirely like translate, but that's like the closest translation. I don't know. That's what led me to that Wikipedia, because I was kept hearing him say, I can't even say it, and I'm butchering it, but it is like Bakararu Konararu, something like that, and it's close enough, I guess. But now I've lost my spot on where we were. Let me go look at the episodes. So yeah, moving on from the Kakashi and Shin and Sai, that whole battlefield. Now we've got the beach. We've got Darui, and I know we've already talked a little bit about Genkaku and Kinkaku, but Darui's first company, right? First company?
Mm-hmm.
Or is he?
I think so, yeah.
I can't remember. Yeah,
maybe
I think
it's
so.
fifth.
Fifth is what's supporting them. Fifth has just come in. Fifth
Right.
is
It might be second. Maybe Gaara's first because that's what split. Darui took the second company.
No, Gaara's fourth.
Gaara's fourth. Kakashi is
I don't know.
third.
I'm not a warlord.
It doesn't matter. Anyways, they all joined up on the beach literally just in time for Asuma to show up. Which, I mean, we saw that coming, right? Like, we saw that as soon as we saw Asuma right last week, right? Like, that's not a blindside.
No.
It sucks, though.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want that, because oh my God, is it gonna suck, man?
It does suck, but amazing timing that we get the next generation of Shikaku.
Mm-hmm.
Like, seeing that form through the remote, like, intel of just kind of makes me think of Voldemort at the end, where he's just like talking to them in their minds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they're all like hearing from Shikaku, like, hey, the old legends have passed. It's time for the next one, and like, take up the mantle.
I love that they get there and everybody's like, yeah, there they are, the legendary Ino Shikaku. And then they're like, wait, that's the kid version.
And Shikamaru's like, yeah, I thought they might say that.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
God, he's still, I mean, we haven't had a whole lot of time with him lately, but he's still like, every time he's on screen, he's my favorite character.
He's a good one, for sure.
He's so good. And his dad too. Like, obviously, Shikaku. We're getting to spend way more time with him now. And so let's call back. So in OG Naruto, we see the OG Shikaku, like, just for a little bit. They were in a Japanese barbecue bar, and they were drunk and eating and all this stuff. And I can't remember.
They were being those parents who would have been like, where are my kids?
Exactly. Do you know where your kids are? And they're like, I haven't seen them. But Zach, I think it was you, Zach, that you were like, what a deadbeat dad. And you were like, absolutely dogging on him. And I knew all this stuff about Shika now. And it's like, oh, man.
If you only,
he was just blowing off steam.
Wait. Yeah. He's so badass. Yeah, because his like war planning, like we saw with all of the like unit moving and all that. I thought it was really smart. But it's more of me like watching it unfold and be like, how smart of him. Like I know anything.
He's playing like 3D Risk out there.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I don't know if I said deadbeat dad. I feel like that's
I don't know. Okay, but okay, fine. Not deadbeat dad.
Cue to the clip
like
and that deadbeat dad.
Okay, so do either of you guys like trash TV?
Not really. Are
I
you
mean, I'm
talking
talking
like The
reality,
Bachelor?
like reality TV. Yeah. Like reality TV.
I can't.
All right, so there's a
behind it.
show called Love Is Blind. It's on
Oh,
Netflix.
yeah.
Dude, so Bree and I have been watching it because we have some friends that also watch it. So it's just like fun to like watch something. Like they came down and stayed with us, and it was great just to like watch something shitty and just like talk about it and be, just like gross drama.
Sure.
But in the season we just finished last night, this couple, so this girl was like, they was at the reunion at the end of the season, and she was like, he always like tried to control what I was eating and all this stuff, and kept on referencing like this like tangerine incident or cuties incident. And they didn't show it in the original show. They were like, they cut it out. You're so lucky. You're so lucky. Like she's dogging him. And he's like, dude, I don't even know what you're talking about. Please, if you play if you have the clip, please play it. So they edited it in at the end of the reunion. So like you come off this big fight where they're like, da, 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 like I like you always try to control me or whatever. The dude literally is like, she was like, you told me that if I ate 2 cuties, like then like you were shocked by that because we were about to have dinner or something like that. So you watch the clip, and he's essentially like, hey, are you gonna eat both of those? And she was like, well, that's a serving. Is that okay with you? And he was like, no, yeah, but like we're about to leave to go to dinner, and we're gonna have like a huge dinner, like a big sucker. Like you want to save your appetito, like being like really like dumb about it. And she like, so I don't know why, but you saying roll a clip reminded me instantly of that, of them, because it's so cold for the editors to just be like, I'm outing her
in there.
to throw it in at the end. Oh,
dude,
man.
that's the editors are probably my favorite part of the shows that we watch, which are like Summer House, which is literally just people renting a house on the weekends in the summer, and they go and party and hang out. And it's so dumb, but it's like they'll do stuff like that. Like a girl will say, well, I've never said blah blah blah, and it like goes 2 seasons back, and they're like throwing those clips in. It's so funny.
It is. I love that level of just like pettiness, and that's what I like trash TV for. Like I'm not there because I think it's interesting or real. I'm there for whenever they're like being really shitty and like, like Jerry Springer-esque. Like I want like a step down from Jerry Springer. That's what I'm looking for in my trash TV. Maybe a step down from that, because I feel like a step down from Jerry Springer is something like Jersey Shore, and I'm not all the way there. I need something a little civil. I need something that's
Jersey Shore, bro.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll get back to the topic that we have the podcast for, which is Naruto.
Hey, by the way, Darui is first, and then it was Kitsuchi, Kakashi was third, Gaara was fourth, General Mifune was fifth.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So the volcano of Zetsu's amazing, hilarious. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? It's whenever what you just said his name. Second
was Kitsuchi.
Yes, he uses that like Earth style. Yes, thank you, Zach. How do you have this so fast, bro?
I don't. I had it. It's literally what I was left on. I was like, "There's no way we're talking about this right now,
dude. No way. Like, how is
amazing.
This? That's 2 for 2 on the. I was literally sitting. For those people just listening, I have the iOS reactions on the FaceTime camera. And balloons just flew through the screen.
What happened? What triggered that? Oh,
Peace sign. Oh, okay.
oh man, I'm my eyes are watering.
Yeah.
Okay, continue. So you're
No,
saying?
it's just 2 for 2. Like I had the Naruto Chibi like Fox up
Yeah.
earlier.
Oh, yeah.
And you said it, I
Yeah.
was like, I'm gonna share it. And then you just said this, and I had it up. So
That's so crazy. Wow.
but
Well, good
what
job.
a scene, yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot
very
too. Look. Like zoom like
reminiscent of something. I don't know what.
I can't place it either. What is this? Remind me of.
Bunch of white Zetsus. That's what I'm gonna call it from now on.
Oh my god. Yes.
Spitting a little white Zetsu over here.
Oh my god, that's great. So all these OG references or like callbacks that they're doing, because now we're in HD, they had to redraw all those, and some of them looked really good.
Wait, they had to redraw.
They had to
Like they
redraw
couldn't
it.
pull it. Whoa.
Now I don't know. I'm a little suspect of yeah, hell yeah. If you're listening to the audio only, you like at this point you just need to start watching it. That why is that one in so much
What is
detail
happening?
and then everything else is just a blur? That's the one that would make it. That's the one that would fertilize.
I wish they'd just drawn one and then like spun them around into different positions and like copied and pasted. That would have been so funny.
Oh, what is coming
What's
off the
going
chest? What is happening?
I
Man,
don't know. So good.
doesn't make me like Zetsu anymore.
No way.
So yeah, I think that some of them they may have been able to crop in like from the 4x3 if the frame like allowed it with enough space. But there's some that they would have either had to put it in, like place in the 4x3 and fill out the rest of the space, which they may have very well done because that's going to be a lot less work than redrawing all of it. But they had to do something to accommodate it because it is still in 16:9. And like I know that if One Piece, now that I'm in HD One Piece, if they call back, it'll revert to 4x3 and they'll put like One Piece and like beveled black on the sides.
Oh, gotcha.
And I've not seen Naruto do that, and I don't think that it does do that at all. So I'm assuming they had to redraw it, but assuming that they did, some of it looked really good, and assuming that they didn't, wow, it looked really good for 2003.
Sure. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Like, that's a lot of work, but Haku did seem a little more HD whenever we saw.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. Like the scene of Naruto and Haku in the forest looks. Go back and watch it. Go back and watch the OG. It doesn't look like that. So they had to do something. Like maybe they got a jumping point, or obviously they at least had a reference. But maybe they were able to like salvage it somehow and like use it. But there's some sort of accommodation there.
But like this scene that I'm about to share the screen of feels.
That's what I'm saying. Like that looks better. That feels better and looks better than 2003 at that point. It was early, 2005 maybe here, but it's 2000
around. It looks
then.
really good.
Yeah, and some of the stuff of Haku on the bridge looks a lot better. So I mean, I'm assuming that it is a redrawn thing. Speaking of the bridge, or not, I guess it's back in present time. Kakashi kills both of them, and somehow blood drops into Haku's right eye.
Through the mirror.
No one is standing. That's how it gets there. That's what I said.
No.
I don't know. Like she's
I know
like.
What you mean.
Or I said
she's already dead,
bro. See, we both said she. It is a boy, but like, dude, how is this a boy? Like that is the prettiest boy that Naruto has drawn, or the story of Naruto. Yeah. I don't know. I just had that note because it was like, where did it come from? Like there was no one standing above him.
I
Oh,
think
well.
it was Zabuza.
There's no way because so remember like Kakashi is standing over Haku and then Zabuza is over here like a fair amount away and he gets he goes at him and then they use the shadow possession jutsu like under Haku and there was like I just remember there was like this top down shot and there was a pretty good amount of space between them.
It could have been Kakashi because he got his stomach sliced.
That's a good point. I mean, it'd have to be, but yeah, that's a good point.
Because that's how Kakashi's the way. Because the scene I was thinking of was Zabuza when the blood splatters on the mirror, but it lands on his eye, and it looks like he's crying.
Yeah.
So that has to be Kakashi's blood.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think whenever he stepped over Haku, it probably like dropped or whatever, and that's enough reason for me. So we talked about the Gold and Silver brothers; they're annoying. But also at this battlefield is Tenten, who we have not seen in a hot minute. Tenten is about to see
kind of narrating.
Yeah, like it's like a utility character brought in to like tell the audience things that they like want to say out loud.
Right.
They'll be like
it was weird.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think it was weird too that she was talking to Choza like they're buds.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe, sure they're from the same village, but she was just like, "Thanks, Choza."
Yeah. Like maybe that's just because they were the only ones they like knew of each other or whatever, where you're like, well, I guess
there's another lead
stick together.
Yeah. Because it does feel weird.
I ship it. I'm just kidding.
You're writing fan fiction now?
The weirdest story in the world, dude.
I'm sure it's out there on the internet somewhere.
I'm not looking. You can report back.
I'll report back.
Yeah. Check it out for us. My computer doesn't want those viruses. So.
Oh, I was going to mention, I really enjoyed Neji and Hinata fighting, and it kind of looked like they were playing patty cake the whole time.
That is the what is it called? The gentle fist, dude. Yeah. I wonder what that's inspired by.
Patty cake, probably.
Patty cake.
Yeah, patty cake. That's a good idea. I think that's right.
While we're in this part of the battle, though, can I just pull up one more screen? Maybe not. Yeah, I don't want to say the last.
You were welcome to do that as much as you want. I think it adds so much to our video.
So in the vein of like funny frames, can we just talk about this?
Dude, what a lame! I can't stand Kiba.
But I think head so movement here.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, the ratio of mouth to shoulder is not, I don't know.
This is one of Studio Perrier's best frames.
You think so?
Yeah, this is top tier from them.
He is spinning though, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it. There's gyration.
Sure.
Hey, I think if we're gonna get into the useless conversation, which we weren't, but I think Kiba's useless.
Yeah. I think that there's a better argument for Kiba being useless than Sakura.
And more so than Tenten at this point, because Tenten was a narrator for 3 episodes.
And Tenten, let's be honest, she undid that scroll and an absolute Gatling gun of kunai unleashed. I mean, she hit one Zetsu, and that's it. So, I mean... But at least the Gatling's really cool. Like, she just... And then it's just like... And then absolute air, dude. Yeah, she bodied one 3 times, and then it was like just into the water from there. Bunch of rusty kunai at the bottom of the ocean. So what do we think Zetsu is? Because we've seen, dude, like what the hell? Like black Zetsu and white Zetsu are very different, but they're one thing. Do we think it's a human? Do we have guesses?
Plant. He's definitely
plant?
part plant.
Okay, so we think he's part plant?
I do, yeah.
Okay. Why? Why do you say that?
Because he I don't know, he grows out of stuff when he's,
and he does have that weird thing, the Venus flytrap around him.
Yeah. That's the main reason. We haven't seen that in a little while. But
he also
why is that there sometimes?
Yeah. He also fuses with a tree when he's hunting for the feudal lords and says, "I am one with nature."
And that was part of the reason why I wrote this note was why say that specifically?
And the crunchiest character.
Yeah. Most likely to wear chacos.
Here's what I hope for Zetsu. I hope that we see that his original, I hope he wears chacos one day. I hope that his original home before Madara just scooped him up is just a homestead, farming community thing. And he's just some peaceful dude. And he's
but looks
I want a new life.
Looks like that.
Do what?
Looks like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's white and black Zetsu. They're weird. They'll split up. Sometimes there's 50 white Zetsu and one black Zetsu.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I don't think the black Zetsu can actually multiply because we've only ever seen that one.
Only 100,000 white Zetsu. So yeah, I don't know. Some kind of parasitic creature, maybe. Or an experiment gone wrong. I don't know.
So we talked about, yes, also possible for sure, especially with everything that Orochimaru has done in the world. Really, a lot of things are on the table. Speaking of which, I was gonna say I've got a few more notes, but oh shoot, what's his name? Suigetsu and Hugo. Jugo. Discarded, brought back for that one episode to explain the 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist, which that's pretty cool. But I mean, we've basically already seen the end of that fight. They were really look at these cool swordsmen, and now they're dead, and they're not dead yet, but that's what's coming. Great job, Zach. I love that. Give me a thumbs up and give me another one on screen. But a great quote, probably top tier quote from this batch is Datara. Do you want to guess what I'm about to say? No.
Oh wait, I just had it. It's somewhere. I'm not gonna find it. Just say it.
I'm not into S&M.
Yeah, that was it. Yep. I'm not into S&M. Thanks.
Yeah. That's so good. I think that's such a good line, dude.
Absolutely. Because Conqueror's I'm going to bind your mouth.
There's no way. Cartoon Network, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I wonder what the cut. That's a good point. I need to try to find the cut version of that because that episode may have aired on Adult Swim Toonami. And if that's the case, then it probably did keep it. But if it was still Cartoon Network Toonami, it just depends on when that switched. But that's a good point. I wonder what the cut version says. Well, and the cut version has to meet certain viewership guidelines to keep its rating. Yeah. So I don't know if it can actually say or reference S&M like that.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's kind of the end of the batch. We're moving along in the war. We've obviously got Asuma and Shikaku about to face them, and we got Kakuzu who's there, and it's what are we going to do about both of them? Because the 3 of them can't take both of them. They're just not going to be able to. So.
And Kakuzu's 4 different people, basically.
Yeah, and I think that's. I think it's a little I don't think that his heart situation should still work in this reanimation.
Yeah.
I think it shouldn't work the way it did in life because he isn't working off of a heart anymore.
Right.
So, and like his sacrificial body that he's using to be reanimated can't die anyways. So he doesn't need that heart. Like, I don't know. That felt dumb, but I think that he should have been a character that's like just I'm back, and he's still very formidable, but he doesn't have to be killed 4-5 times, I guess, in total.
Right.
That just feels, I don't know. Like we already went through that once, and like we see like another like bout with Zabuza and Kakashi, but it doesn't feel like the same, and it feels like we would have to see. Like, it feels like we would still see the same Kakuzu because he's still angry. He still wants to fight and everything.
Yeah.
So it'd just be like, now we're just watching this again, and we've already dealt with this. So
I do hope we see Hidan again. Like, of all these people that are being brought back, I think he would be a funny one.
But I don't think Kabuto knows where Shikamaru buried him.
Well, and he's still alive, and nobody knows. Like that was the point of Shikamaru going alone. One, it's Nara, like sacred land, so only his people from the Nara family can even go there. But more than that, within that, it would be hard to pinpoint where it was because Shikamaru is the only one that knows.
And he blowed him up, so like.
But he's still alive. He can't die. He's just in pieces under there.
Right.
Which is crazy to think right now. Well, in the show right now, somewhere out there in the real world is Hidan cut up into pieces, just waiting. What is a terrible, terrible way.
Horrifying existence.
Horrible, absolutely terrifying. Last thing I want to say, Darui being able to switch his most said word while being sucked in is absolute horseshit. To be able to keep your two most said words at basically level to where he could tilt it over by saying it. He said it 5 more times. He said it 5 times from the time that he started saying sorry a lot. He said it 5 times and that tilted it. Like, I mean, I'll buy it. Because like I like the story. But it does feel a little like
I'll buy it because Kinkaku and Ginkaku are just so dumb.
Yeah.
Well, let's do something dumb as like a response to who they are or something.
Yeah, I think I would have just been better off with it if it like hadn't worked and it been like because you thought my word was dull, but it's actually sorry. That would have felt more like it than like I'm just going to start saying sorry a lot to where I can tip the scale and then not be sealed like that. And the reality is it's probably neither of those words because you say so many other, in English, you say so many other like adjectives and things that get repeated a lot. So
or article,
but it was like a spirit word.
Yeah,
right?
article. That's the word I'm looking for.
The thing that's hard for me to get behind is like I don't feel like either of the brothers were like picking the word. Like I feel like the tool was.
Yeah. It's whatever they were. It's the word they said the most in their life.
In their spirit. Yeah. So like why wouldn't it pick the right one? That's the plot hole I see is the problem.
Well, I think in my like proposed I would rather take this.
No, in the writing of it.
But there wasn't a hole. How? What do you mean?
Like the tool was flawed because it picked the wrong word?
No, that Darui like had been saying dole. That's why I was saying it felt cheap to keep those 2 words at such a equal level that if you're saying dole like 500 times for easy numbers and sorry 496 times and then they hear it and at the time that they register the word it's dole and you say it 5 times and it goes to 501, and now it's suddenly switched to sorry. Like the tool is right and correcting itself to do so, but it just, if that's why it feels cheap, is because it's like, he was able to say, like, shove out the word sorry enough for it to like tip the scale.
Right.
But I will say, maybe you missed that because I wish that they would add this. It's so stupid not to. In dub anime, if you see something on the screen that's in Japanese characters, then it doesn't show any sort of, even if you turn on captions, it doesn't show you what that is. But if you watch it in sub, it will show you what that is. So each time that the word was showing up on that tool, it would tell me what that is in the sub. But I watched the dub first. So I watched the dub first and I was like, I wonder what those are. And that was part of the reason why I ended up going back to watch the sub, because there was enough to be different. But so those words are, I guess, populated from like the spirit that's being like sucked into that gourd, and the spirit itself looked like it had Japanese characters in it, but I don't know all the Japanese characters, so I don't know. But I'm just kind of like deducing that it's something that they're absolutely not choosing at all, Genkaku and Kinkaku. It's just like the tool does it itself. And then the only reason they even know the word is because it populates on the tool.
Gotcha. Yeah.
That's just the way I took all that.
Sure. That kind of clears up my mishandling of that situation.
Yeah.
But my question is, so we, in the first part of that, we get the 4 out of the 5 that they possess. So is the amber purification jar the 5th? Because the Raikage calls it the treasured tools, but Kinkaku and Ginkaku say ninja tools, ultimate ninja tools.
Yeah.
So is that jar the 5th one?
Yeah, it's yes, they took
Kohaku
it away
no
from
Johei?
Yeah, they took that away from Kinkaku. So Kinkaku had that big thing, whatever, big gourd with the lid on top of it.
Yeah.
So he had that one and the fan that can wield all 5 chakra types. He had both of those. And then Genkaku had the rope, the gourd, and the flappy sword. Blade. Yeah. So once that other dude lost his, once Kinkaku lost his gourd, he just had that fan, and he was kind of.
No. I'm asking about what the Raikage sent to the aid.
Yeah, that's the 5th one. So yeah, okay.
That is
there's
the 5th one.
There's the rope. There's the 7-star blade. There's the gourd. Those 3 are Genkaku's like thing. Then there's the big orange gourd that you said the name of. I don't even remember it. The big one that they transported. That's 4. And then the 5th one is that that like feather blade or whatever that wields all the chakra types. Those are the 5. But it's split up between the 2 of them, 3 and 2.
So Bashosin is the leaf fan.
Yeah.
That's the one that does all the chakras?
That does all the chakra types, yeah.
So
and Tenten just found that.
Yeah, that's interesting to me. Like, what is she going to do with that?
We'll find out.
I guess. I put Tenten found the leaf fan. Interesting. Maybe now she'll stop throwing kunai knives.
Yeah. We'll see what she does with it. I don't want to tell you any more about it.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll see. But it's as big as those weapons are, like they say, and they have these incredible powers. They're just kind of only for this fight. Like they're just like, And here are these huge weapons that can do these terrible things. Why are we not using it immediately on every other reanimated person? Why are we not going up to them and touching them? Now, the rope did get sealed, so I get that. But why are we not doing the other gourd, the big gourd, where all you have to do is get them to answer your call? Why are you not going around and being like, Kakuzu, I want to fight you? And Kakuzu turning to you and saying anything at all and immediately sealed. That feels like a no-brainer to me. And maybe it has some sort of limit to where it can't have like within a certain time frame or something, but that wasn't told to us. So, of course that would break the war, and it would feel cheap if they just went around and took them all away that way. But
what if they said Zetsu and they're like, huh?
Just like and just all
1,000 of them.
Why not? Well, that was basically everything that I had for this batch. We can move on to pack opening. I can talk about the next batch, or if there's anything that I skipped you guys wanted to talk about.
I feel pretty good.
Yeah, we covered a lot of ground. I mean, I know there's a lot of little details that we didn't, like feudal lords and Kekkei Genkai versus
feudal
Kekkei
lords.
Tota.
I don't even want to talk about the feudal lords.
Well, and we'll talk,
stupid.
Yeah, they are stupid, and we will talk about Kekkei Tota next time once we see.
We just didn't see it.
Yeah, right. Once we see Lord Mu and the Tushikage, we'll have a better understanding of what it is. And I mean, I'm sure that you guys understand what it is by now because it's just 3 chakra types, but we'll have more to talk about besides the fact that it exists.
The only last interesting thing that I observed that wasn't addressed is Kakashi now has the Executioner Blade.
Yes, so that was one of my notes. That's pretty badass for him to have it.
Yeah,
we'll see, because I can't remember how they summoned all of those blades. I get that, but I can't remember if Suigetsu finds it like another one somehow, or finds the broken one that he had, because the one that he broke didn't grow back. So, and that was also the first time we saw that. So that felt a little okay, we'll take it. We'll take it because that's fine. You have to learn new stuff at some point. But it was a little out of left field after it had been broken prior and didn't grow back. But I will say that I just remembered this. It has to have blood to grow back. So maybe that's it. Because now that has to be it. I'm talking myself out of my own theory, because whenever Zabuza first had it, it was broken, right? Maybe you have a screenshot of that too, Zach. The 7 ninja swordsmen, that first frame that they did at the end of the episode when they were revealed, I want to say that Zabuza was holding the blade out in front of him and it was broken.
It is.
So okay, never mind, I'm wrong. So they definitely summoned that one away from where Suigetsu is. And that, and then it must have grown back once he killed somebody with it.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't catch that, but yeah. The next batch will be we have another little bit of filler, literally an episode, 2 episodes.
Dude,
1 episode.
I saw the just the caption or the title of the next one. It was Sakura falls down or something. So I read the description of the next one and it was Sakura falls and gets hurt. And I was like, this can't possibly be part of the war.
Yeah.
This has got to be a flashback filler thing.
It's weird that it's named that. I'm trying to find it. But
it wasn't that. It was
Road to Sakura. Is
even weirder.
Yeah, Road to Sakura. But that's a thing. I don't know if that's just a translation thing, but there's a Road to Boruto, Road to Naruto.
Interesting.
So maybe it's just path to Sakura or something. I don't know. But the next batch, anyways, will be episodes 272 through 278, and then we will skip to 282 and 283. Okay, so
Cool.
272 through 278, and then 82 and 83, or 282 and 283.
I like it.
There's just, I mean, you can watch that filler if you just have like an abundance of time. Basically, all of the filler at this point in the show is more like war arc stuff, or like just stuff that's happening around it. So it'll be like back in the village, like what's happening there or whatever.
Oh, interesting.
So you kind of get a mixed array. Sometimes it's like weird backstory stuff, like you get like young Sakura and Ino in one of them. So yeah, you're more than welcome to watch it. Let me look. So that'd be 79 through 81. Yeah, it's just more war arc stuff. So like if you wanted to watch it, you could, but it's just going to be inconsequential. 281 though is the Allied Mom Force, which I've never seen, but I'm assuming that's the screenshot is Konohamaru, so I'm thinking it's back in the village. But
Allied Mom Force.
I might like skim through that one to see what it is. But yeah, 272 through 280, or yeah, 272 through 278, and then 282 and 283. All right. And then from there, we're going to get into some batches that become pretty content heavy. So we'll have a couple weeks that are like 7-8 week episodes, or 7-8 episode weeks.
Nice.
Yeah, but I'm breaking it out. I think I told you guys this. I've had to like really, because it's been so long since I've seen this portion of the show through the end, that I'm having to basically wait until we're getting right there for me to remember what's happening. So I'm only getting like 1-2 weeks planned out at a time. Definitively, I've got like natural breaks, but nothing definitive yet. All right, so we've got our boy Naruto sitting here at the front, and then behind
Pretty
that,
cool.
We've got the master who never was, Iruka. Our boy Shikamaru.
Hell yeah.
Do we remember this guy's name? Because I don't. But I do know that if you look up those guys from Naruto on Google, this will pop up because of a meme. And then we've got the commander of the Allied forces, Gaara. He, when obviously, I think it's pretty obvious that he's going to fight his dad to some degree. That's frustrating. We'll watch that one.
In the words of Mercy Me, I can only imagine.
Oh, God.